Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Ahmad Lamayer. On this one I'm gonna continue with a JSON message. Instead of hard coding, this time we're gonna get our input message from our input. We will send it from input and we'll capture that one and use the value right here. So how we do that? We could paste that one and send it. Once it comes, we will see it as a JSON data, an employee is item first and a second and third one. The same way if you want to create it, we create as employee item first, second and third. It comes this way, but we created, let's see how we created. We created employee as a array list, and it, but right here we did not send anything, but still it create item. So how should we capture and use it right here? So we just need to create a correlation name. I say input, we give a reference to the location we want. I want to give a reference up to this point, like I want to look up to right here. JSON data, I will say input dot JSON, which is JSON, then data, and this item 1 and item 2. This employee, copy that one, employee. So let me save that one, then place this one right here. So how should we know there's item 1 and item 2, item 3? So we'll use it right here. We dot, the way it said, item 1 dot first name. But how should this will know this is item 1? We need to pass again the list right here. We place the list and we mention it as a 1. Copy, paste it, copy, paste it, copy, paste it to all 3. And this is the 3. There's 2. This is the 1. But always is a good idea to clean up. Let's make more space. Make a space, yellow clean. When you do the mapping, make sure it's always in a good condition to read it easily. So let's deploy and see what is the result. And let's send this data. Send this data. Okay, nothing is coming. What happened? Okay, it's not terminated, but it's not sending. Okay, it's come right now. Let's get in. We create item 1 and input item 1, 2, 3. And if you check JSON, get employee John and John. Okay, because the reason is John and John, everything we said first name. Let's replace it. And now let's complete that one and redeploy, but still we will see the result because everything is John, John, Peter, Peter is repeating, but now the result will be different. But let's complete it. You already see that. How should we do it? See, the result is different now. Sometimes it don't work, the deployment. So redeploy it and resend it. John, Hannah, Dave. If the result is same thing, then okay, now it's good. John, Hannah, and same thing right here, Smith. Like when it's not working, redeploy it. So that was we take our, like we take our input and we, instead of writing, you could write a code like directly like to right here, do the same thing, but that would take much longer, like to write it this way. You could do this way, like instead of you declare it, you could do, but this is not the right way to recommend. There's a one way, I just show you could do that, but it's not the right way. You could place it always a smaller, just create a correlation name and then reference it to the location of the child tag or the root tag you want it. I want an employee, which is a array list. We pass the data. You could do it this way and pass everything right here too, but this is not the right way to do it, because too much that will slow up your somehow your program language too. Like your app that you create might be working slow. They will work slow because each time they will go right here to create this one, get this value, and keep doing that one each time. Right here is doing one time and go right here and that's it. So let's clean up. But that was one way to consider it, but you might use it somewhere. You will see it as a useful to use it this way, but it's not a recommending way. But some case you might use it. But also let's right here, we don't want it that longer. So if you don't want it that longer, we use one of those one. I already have you could watch my XML like previous video about the XML message trees, how I manipulate the message based on a XML message. I use all of them. You could go and learn it there, but right now I just want to make it simple how I coding it. So I just create it up to this point. But the point is, if you go back to your documentary, IBM document, if you check, if you want to use it, like a create field, output JSON data, the list is, because this time the data is an array list. Whatever tag is array list, you need to identify as an array list. Let's copy. I'm gonna copy up to right here. I will come right here. What is my array list? MI is a employee. This guy employee is array list. I will do same thing whatever is they done it. I will say identify, then copy up to this point and make this one as array list because of employees. So I make my data as array list. So that way you identify it as array list. So now you could add a value to it each time. Say you could use, I already explained it on my previous video, learn about that. Right now you will not get this one, but you gonna, while you pass value or name tag, you could pass the name tag directly and pass the value. You could do that one. Watch my previous video how you do it, but on that one I will not do it. I will just pass the simple code on that. And this is not the input, this is output. I did a mistake. Now I want to reference it. Let's give a reference. Declare. I will say output reference to whatever we create. Causing an issue. Okay. Sorry. So we're gonna pass right now, instead of that code, we're gonna replace it, that item we gave them 1 and item 2. On a JSON we usually adding item to it. Support of the code, and let's add 2, add 3, add 4. Whatever is repeating, you need to add it right here. And there's a 3, there's 2 and there's 2. So let's clean up some and save it. Let's deploy and see the result. I hope this works. So the result was same thing, you could see it, and completed the result same thing. I don't know why, for some reason the record was stopped, that's why I repeat myself. See the result is same thing. If you check the code, because we are here, we add item in the input, it's coming same thing. Also with the array we sending same thing, creating same thing, but this would not come in coding. If you check, it's not coming in coding. So just you need to add it after array, because this tag is array. After array tag, you need to mention that one. This become first array, this is the second array object, and this third one. So you could use the instead of that, use a create last child, then make it first child, last child, and do the same thing that I did it on previous video. So watch my previous video how I use create statement in a different way. You could do it like, instead of you declare it right here, you could back and forth it. Like for example, you could do it right here, because this is not up to, let's say up to this point I want to declare it. Now you could pass it right here as a some. You could back and forth it right now. Is that you could do that? There's nothing wrong with it. Or you could use the while loop right here instead of repeating that. Let me use the while loop quicker and come back. I already have a video on while loop. If you don't know how to use it, you could go back to my previous video. You will learn that there is a while. Let me write it all and come back. So I just use the while loop. Pay attention, the item is repeating. I reference it to item, input, then I create while loop. This is the while loop. Once I say last move, it says till the last move, which is the condition is true on my sibling, like each time, then move it to a next sibling. If there's a next sibling, the condition is true, come to a code, we create a, and also I just changed some code. It's like you could keep it same thing, doesn't matter, but just for the learning reason I change it. You could do it this way too, like output, reference it to that, and create it first, then reference it to the data, then create the last child, and then use the create as a last child and do the another one. I pass same thing, I swipe it, that's why they call them swipe. Same name, I use it at the same time. You could use different name if you remember the previous video. So this way is working fine too. Then while loop, move it to the last child. I just give that one reference to item, because there would be a 3 item we send it, like is a array object, 3 object. Each time they will move it to a next sibling. Then we sign one integer starting from 1. Once it comes, they will take the first, we will create the outside message output, and the first one is 1, then first and last name, we will get it. If we pay attention right here, we do not mention the array list anymore, because this is up to item, and I don't need to mention it anymore. Each time it's taking 1. If it come right here, this data only has 1. I pass that one right here, input dot first, input dot last, and move it to next sibling, and increase it again. This one I use it for this reason, because I pass it right here. Each time they increase, the value would come. The first one is 1, the second time would be second, and third. Let's run and see it. Now let me show you this one manually, because it's kind of confusing. The first one is come right here. If you pay attention to input, see they take input, just the first input. Now they're gonna come, they take only first input, they assign the value right here, first name and second name, and they put right here. If you check, they create it. Now they're gonna move it to next sibling, and I'm gonna increase the value. This is 1, I'm gonna make it 2. They become 2. Now it come again, they check, because we already moved it to second, but there has a HANA. If it's Anna, then move it and place it value and move it to a second one. Each time they're creating list for me and getting data from right here. Let's finish it and see the value. The result is same thing, but this is a less code because we're not writing too much code. You could copy that one and create the, instead of this one you could create this one, like put it on different procedure, called it, so your mapping would be done and less coding would be right here. So it's up to you. Just come right here and I will leave that one for you, like creating procedure. I just go back to my video, I show you how to create procedure. Put this one on procedure. If you cannot able to do that, leave me a message on a comment below. I'm gonna I will reply back to you. So see you on the next video.